Hey there, Soulshine. It's Michelle here, and I'm inviting you to wake up and live. And today we're going to talk about the law of perpetual transmutation. Basically, that means the law of constant change. Whew, that's a crazy one, huh? Honestly, I'm just making a video to have available to upload in case I can't get on YouTube one day. I decided that's the best course of action to take care of the feeling of trapped that I sometimes feel. Like I promised myself I would upload 100 videos or do 100 days of videos, and I was like, well, what if I don't feel good, or what if life's crazy? And the thought that came to me is, well, just make a bunch of videos that you can have on hand to upload when you're ready, and whenever you feel in the mood to make a bunch of videos, make a bunch of videos, and you can just have a bunch on hand for when you don't have anything, or when you're really busy, or you feel like, staying in bed all day for whatever reason. So that's what this video is about, in a way. Perpetual transmutation is one of my favorite laws to understand because I don't know why. I just think it's really cool. I absolutely love change, and I suggest that you fall in love with change. I really do. Because, okay, that's fucking me right there. Um, Change is inevitable. Like, seriously, it's impossible not to have change. You are either moving into form or out of form, which is what the perpetual law of transmutation is. The easiest way to explain it and kind of show you in a scientific form is water. Water is an amazing example. So, water in its liquid form is liquid. It can go into a gaseous form where it's kind of has no form. Then it can also go into a solid form where it's like there and tangible and like hard and you can touch it. So it's got this thing, and it can be in that hard form and then melts into water. And it can melt into, or not melt, but continue to transmute into gas. And then that gas can cool down and become water, and water can cool down farther and become ice, and it just can go back and forth, right? So this is what happens when we're manifesting. This is what happens with our things. We have an idea, liken that to gaseous form. It's just an idea. It has no real form, it has no real thoughts. It's just this idea out there in space. And then we start putting it into action, and it starts to becoming towards us. It starts to become fluid. It's not quite a solid thing happening, but it's an idea with emotions, and we're putting effort into it, and it's starting to come to us. And the final form of it is it physically shows up in your life, and that's the solid. So it's solid, and there's liquid, that's this idea moving in and out, and then there's the original idea that's just kind of this thought floating out there. So it's gas, liquid, solid. Okay. But like everything, anywhere along that path, it can disappear. You could have the idea and you could be like, oh, that's a silly idea. Poof, the idea is gone. You could have the idea and you could start to bring it into form, creating the goals and the things to make it happen, putting the emotion into it, begin to create it in your life. And then you get doubts or you change your mind and it goes back into a gaseous nothing idea, okay, or thought form. You could actually create it all the way through, and it becomes this solid thing. Like, maybe you wanted to manifest money and you finally have money, you've manifested it. Go you, good job. But then for whatever reason, you have some kind of issues with it, and it goes back into a liquid form. So you lose your money, and you are back in this state of, do you create it or do you let go of the idea? And that is the thing. Everything is moving in and out of form. Every idea, everything that you want to manifest, you're either moving towards it and making it a reality, or you're moving away from it and making it a nothing. everything is moving in and out of form, and everything is constantly changing. It has to change. Because if you think about it, and you literally, if you just stay exactly as you are, you don't learn anything, you don't grow at all, you don't change anything, what are you doing? You can't eat because that creates change. That means that, you're having food processed in your body, which is changing inside of your body. You can't breathe because that creates change. You cannot, and it creates growth. And if you're just staying there, it's like literally impossible. Because if you stop all of those things, if you stop creating that growth by eating and by breathing and by living, and you try to hold still, you won't be able to hold still, because then you'll go into the decay form and you'll begin to die. Either way, you're going to either be growing forward, moving forward in life, or you're going to be regressing or decaying in life. It's growth or death. It's really truly what it is. Are you going to live or die? Because either way, you have to be moving one direction or another. That is just life. So embrace the change, recognize the change, and be excited about the change. Something happens in your life. Maybe it's not the funnest thing ever, but you're so excited because there's a change. And if something bad is happening, you can pull into some of the other laws. First of all, bad is just a perception. But you can pull in some of the other laws and recognize that if it's happening like this, then it has to keep moving and keep growing, and eventually you'll come out of it and you'll be better off than you were, because it's just a growth thing. So in and out, everything's moving, everything's going in and out of form. You're either growing or you're regressing. Like, you can't be still. You really truly can't. When people think that they're plateauing, they're actually not plateauing. You don't stop. You're either growing or you're going backwards. So when you plateau, you may think you're plateauing, but you're really actually kind of regressing. And maybe it's slow so you don't recognize it, but you have to be either moving forward or backwards. Sometimes when people are plateauing, they're moving forward, but they're moving so small that they can barely tell that they're moving until they get like this high, and then they look back and they went, oh look, I actually have made some progress. And that works both ways. So when you feel like you're stagnant or not growing, you're either regressing or moving forward a little bit slower. That's also something important to recognize. Recognize that you really are still moving. There really is still change happening, and stop resisting change, guys, because it's inevitable. It is truly the only constant. You have to be going in and out of form. Even when your body physically dies, it's still changing. It's still decaying until it turns into dust and no longer has anywhere to go. I mean, then it becomes a part of the earth, which then gets used into another way, and it becomes something. So there's, no matter what, you're always going through a cycle of either in or out of form. That is just what it is. Perpetual transmutation. And that is what I have to share with you today. Hopefully you can apply this somehow in your life, and at least recognize that you are always moving and always growing, or always going backwards. So choose to go forward. Choose to embrace the change. Choose to recognize that you are in constant movement, and choose the direction you want to go. And thank you so much for watching. Remember to let your light shine big, bright, light, and beautiful, and I'll see you guys next time.